Hello friends and welcome to Picture Astrology. In the series of planets through various houses, we will talk about Jupiter in 12th house for Capricorn Ascendant. So when you have Capricorn as the Ascendant, the 10th sign will be rising. The 12th house consists of Sagittarius sign and Jupiter is placed in this place. Now Sagittarius is the sign which is owned by Jupiter itself. So Jupiter is pretty strong here. But this is a very tricky position because 12th house has many negative connotations. But Jupiter is one of the most benefic planet. So we have to understand and intermingle the negative and positive effects of the 12th house and the Jupiter as a benefic planet. And this is one of the most tricky things to do in astrology, and we will learn how that can be accomplished in next few minutes. So before we begin our analysis, let's see how does Jupiter behaves for a Capricorn Ascendant horoscope. So when you have the rising sign as Capricorn, Saturn becomes the lord of the ascendant. Capricorn is a sign owned by Saturn. And Saturn and Jupiter have a very even relationship. They are neither friends, they are nor enemies. So they basically share neutral relationship with each other. And that is actually good. However, Jupiter as such, though it is naturally a benefic planet, but in this horoscope, Jupiter owns the sign of Sagittarius, which falls in the 12th house, and the sign of Pisces, which falls into the 3rd house. And any planet which is owner of 12th and 3rd becomes functional malefic. So Jupiter is actually a big functional malefic here. And it is placed in a tricky position of 12th house. So combining these two things, functional benefic versus functional malefic versus natural benefic, is a big challenge for any astrologer. And because of this, many times people are not able to interpret this correctly. But we will see some of the methods by which we can combine this contradicting indicators in the horoscope. Now let's also see all the areas which this Jupiter is going to affect. First of all, Jupiter is placed in the 12th house. So 12th house matters will be affected. Jupiter is lord of sign of Pisces. So the 3rd house related areas will be impacted as well. In Vedic Astrology, Jupiter has special aspects. So Jupiter will have 5th house aspects on your 4th house, 7th house aspect on the 6th house, and the 9th aspect on the 8th house. So the 4th, 6th and 8th house related areas will definitely be impacted as well. So there are many things which this one placement of Jupiter can indicate in your life, and let's look at them one by one. So first of all starts with 12th house. Now first thing which comes into mind about 12th house is it is the house of expenditure, and definitely it shows spending money. But apart from money, it is also the house of your life energy, or the areas in which your life energy is spent. And one of the areas of that could be the sexuality, or it could even be physical enjoyment like alcohol or getting drunk. So a big benefic planet Jupiter here definitely shows a person who is really generous in spending his money, in spending his life energies, which basically means it's a horoscope which shows a person who is inclined to enjoy his life thoroughly. Now, one thing to note, that will happen. The person will have a lot of sensual pleasure seeking tendency if Saturn is placed like that. See, first thing is ascendant, which shows your physical and mental capacity, that has to be strong. When this ascendant is strong, you can, that means you have the energy to spend on the 12th house areas. See, if your body is weak, there is nothing you can do in life. Your human body is the basis of your actions in this world. So the first thing to get positive results from 12th house is the ascendant must be strong. So if you see in this horoscope Saturn very strongly placed, then you can clearly say that this Jupiter will give a lot of enjoyment in the life to the person, and that could be of multiple types. It could be simply spending a lot of money on the shopping, to if this Jupiter is afflicted, it can go to any extreme. Now the other part of this placement is that Jupiter is also the planet of spirituality or religious matters. And Saturn, the basic nature of Saturn is that it is an ascetic planet. It generally is not interested in worldly pleasure. So if Saturn is also placed in a way that supports this Jupiter, then this could be a horoscope of a great saintly person who will not be interested in the world at all. So you see, there are two extreme things which are possible. One, a person could be really basically a debauch and have a lot of sensual life. On the other hand, it could be that the person may be sort of detached from the world, and that depends on the Saturn's placement. Now generally what happens is, in general cases, when Saturn is moderately placed, a person will have a lot of physical activity, a lot of physical sensual life, and towards later part of the life will turn towards spirituality. So, and this is a very unique feature of this placement. Now one negative aspect of this placement is that these people tend to spend money on show off many times. See, one of the negative qualities of Jupiter is vanity. Jupiter is a planet of knowledge and everything, but they may end up spending money just to show to the public, just to make a big show. And on the other hand, this can also make a person a big showman if other factors in the horoscope are strong. So again, there are two different possibilities which depends on the strength of other planets, but showing off, love to show off to the world will be a common theme for this placement. Now one more thing you must be careful about is, you should, if you have this combination of people with this combination, ask them never to get into debt trap, because this Jupiter has a direct aspect on the 6th house which shows the money you can owe to world. So just to throw a big party, or just to have in Eastern culture many time people spend a lot of money on marriages even though they cannot afford it. Those people who have this inner inclination to just show off to the world, they can have this placement, and they should definitely try to avoid taking debts which are meant not for any personal use but just for the public showing. So this is one big caveat for this placement. Now let's quickly talk about the 4th house related matters. Now generally these people are very lucky when it comes to 4th house areas. They usually have a very loving and caring mother, because Jupiter has a direct aspect here, and the 4th house lord Mars is a big friend of Jupiter. They also value education highly, and if Mars is well placed, they could be educated in foreign land or in a place far away from their native or from their birth. And if Mars is again well placed, they could develop a lot of pride because of their education as well. Many people in Eastern culture, again I've seen people who have gone to foreign countries, got educated and kind of feel really proud about it. They have such placement. And they also generally are quite lucky when it comes to vehicles. They like different brands of cars and nice vehicles or conveyance, and they usually get them easily also. We did talk briefly about the sixth house affairs, especially the debts that people with this placement should try to avoid taking or owing money to anybody, especially if it is not for personal use but for public show off. So please keep this thing in mind. Again, I am repeating it because this is one of my humble requests. Now, this placement has a very significant say when it comes to a person's marriage as well. And it might feel odd to many people because it doesn't seem to have any connection with the fourth house. But Jupiter, any placement of Jupiter is important when it comes to a satisfactory personal or married life. It is very important for Jupiter to be well placed. In this Jupiter, one thing you can definitely say that when it comes to sexual pleasures, this is a very good placement. It gives a person a very satisfied personal life. However, when it comes to marriage as a social affair, marriage which is known in terms of the orthodox marriage, then this Jupiter has a very significant say about it, and I will have to actually take that as a separate subject altogether, because there are many small nitty-gritties which needs to be understood to derive full interpretation of impact of marriage because of this Jupiter. So my friends, I hope you like this quick analysis of Jupiter in the 12th house in Sagittarius sign for Capricorn Ascendant. Please do like and subscribe to receive more such interesting videos. Thank you for watching and see you again soon. Bye bye.